Please join me in welcoming the President and CEO of NACSA, Greg Richmond.
Good morning. Thank you, Alan, for welcoming us to Tennessee and giving us actually not just a little update on the fantastic things happening in Tennessee in education right now with the Race to the Top, the Achievement School District, many other things, but also the little history lesson on Sun Studios and the fantastic music and many other things, food and culture that have come out of Memphis. So it's really a delight to be here this morning in Memphis with all of you. Last night I started to see so many good friends from around the country. Ran into Jim George from Ohio in the lobby at the reception last night. I hope most of you were able to go to the reception on the rooftop last night. I saw Deanna Rowe. It was fantastic. Deanna Rowe from Arizona, I got to spend time with her team. Lourdes Moran from New Orleans. I mean, so many people are here in this room doing fantastic work around the country. So that's one reason why this is one of my favorite weeks of the year, maybe the favorite week of the year for me, to spend time with so many people like you who are doing some amazing things around the country. At the reception last night, one person said to me that she looks forward to the NACSA conference because it's a place where people interact with her and talk with her like a professional. And that really struck me, because so much of the work of charter school authorizing is not often appreciated back home, is it? But here at NACSA, we like to think we're a community of people who understand what you do, who've experienced the challenges you have faced, and who appreciate how hard you work. We're a community that deeply believes in the importance and the power of a good education, because education is the key to achieving a good life. And that's true for everyone, but especially for children who are not born with the same advantages that many of us may have had. Good schools don't just teach children, they open doors for them. They give them opportunities. Good schools empower children, not just to dream about their future, but to achieve it. To be a doctor or an astronaut or an engineer or an artist or a teacher. For most children, a good education can be the difference between fulfilling their dreams and simply chasing after them. Unfortunately, in America today, too many kids don't have a fair chance in life because they didn't get a good chance to attend a good school. The impact of education on children's lives is considerable. High school graduates have higher lifetime incomes and are more likely to vote. They are less likely to commit crimes and more likely to stay out of prison. They are less likely to be unwed parents, less likely to be obese, more likely to live longer. Yet each year in America, 1.3 million students drop out of school. In our largest cities, 2 out of 5 students don't graduate from high school. The United States has more than 1,600 dropout factories. That's high schools where at least 40% of students don't get a degree. Among industrialized countries, the United States is 18th in the proportion of students who graduate from high school. And those that do graduate often don't have strong enough academic skills. We're 14th in reading, 17th in science, 25th in mathematics. We have 21,000 public schools in America that are currently failing under their state accountability systems. 21,000. The good news is that over the past 20 years, charter schools have been making a difference. Charter schools have had a record of success. Charter schools have been providing a better education to hundreds of thousands of children, and they've been developing innovations that have improved all of public education. Longer school days and longer school years are innovations that were first widely implemented by charter schools. Better teacher recruitment, preparation, and evaluation came out of charter schools. Smart use of data to improve instruction, greater attention to character development, and a focus on college preparation for all students. Blended learning. Charter schools made major contributions in all of these innovations and those lessons are now transferring to benefit all of public education. And of course, charter schools are also directly providing a better education to thousands of children. We now see major cities where the whole system of public education has been transformed because so many children are attending charter schools. First among them, but certainly not alone, has been New Orleans, where 3/4 of all children now attend a charter school. Since Hurricane Katrina, when the charter school transformation began in New Orleans, no city in the nation can match their dramatic improvements in academics and graduation rates. The annual dropout rate in New Orleans has gone down 60%, while the percent of graduates who are academically prepared for college has gone up 50%. So think about that. The cynics in education believe that the only way to increase the number of high school graduates is to decrease your standards. And charter schools in New Orleans are showing us that the opposite is actually true. They are raising their standards and increasing graduation rates. In recent years, other cities have also embraced charter schools as a strategy for improving public education. The Los Angeles Unified School District now has 80,000 students in charter schools. Philadelphia, more than 40,000 students. In 15 other cities, more than 10,000 students attend charter schools. In a dozen cities, 1/4 or more of all students are enrolled in charter schools. But charter schools aren't just about big cities and big numbers. Good charter schools are really about a personal education for individual students. So for example, last month I have visited the Academy of Dover Charter School in Dover, Delaware. So the Academy of Dover, which they call AOD, is rated as a superior school by the state of Delaware. And here's how they describe themselves. They write, "There are no ordinary teachers at AOD and no ordinary learners. The Academy's positive and nurturing environment encourages everyone to reach his or her optimum potential. And when AOD graduates move on to middle school, they are responsible citizens ready to tackle the next phase of their education with purpose, passion, and proficiency." So here's a small school in a small state, but with a big vision and strong results, preparing students for their future, just like many great schools are doing in your community. Charter school operators and authorizers around the country are transforming public education. You are driving innovation and providing opportunities for children to attend a good school that will give them the opportunities in life that they deserve. But here's the challenge we face today. Charter schools have been doing well for 20 years, but not yet well enough. Charter schools first started 20 years ago because too many children didn't have the opportunity to attend a good school. We've made great strides. But 20 years later, even with charter schools, we still have too many students in America failing to graduate and too few students academically prepared to succeed. I mentioned a moment ago that 21,000 public schools are failing under their own state accountability systems. What I didn't mention was that more than 1,100 of those schools are charter schools. Now, I've never thought that charter schools were the only solution in public education, but I do know this: they weren't supposed to be part of the problem. We didn't start the charter school movement in order to create more failing schools. And this isn't just about test scores. It's also about the need for charter schools to treat all students fairly and to spend taxpayers' dollars appropriately. In some communities, charter schools have developed a reputation for being academically weak or financially unethical. There are concerns that some charter schools counsel inconvenience students out. There are concerns that some charter schools won't serve some special education students. And frankly, there are cases of just simple incompetence. One example, last week in Rockland, California, a new charter school that had opened its doors for the first time earlier this fall abruptly shut down overnight, leaving 400 children with no school to go to the next day. The reason why? Because the building they were in had an occupancy capacity of no more than 75 people. 400 children in a space designed for 75. So it makes you wonder, who authorized that? And this is where we find ourselves today. Thousands of great charter schools are changing students' lives, but then there are also serious questions about some charter schools' performance, finances, and treatment of students. So we have a choice. We can ignore the criticisms, or we can change and get better. If we are truly united in our belief in the power of education, we need to act. We have an obligation to act. And right now, I'm not talking about the broader we, about politicians and parents in America. I mean us in this room, you and me and the person sitting next to you. So here's what we can do. Next month at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C., NACSA will announce a new campaign to provide better schools for 1 million children. And we're calling our campaign 1 Million Lives, because when we provide better schools to 1 million children, we will change their lives. And when I say we provide better schools to 1 million children, I mean us in this room. This is a campaign that will rely on you for its success. You will be part of a team focused on providing a better education, a better life to 1 million children. Our 1 Million Lives campaign seeks to provide a better school to 1 million more students by opening 1,500 new good charter schools and closing 750 failing charter schools over the next 5 years. And the success of this campaign, the ability of 1 million students to attend a better school, depends on you. Each time you approve a new school that has gone through a rigorous evaluation process, you create the opportunity for kids to attend a new good school. Each time you close a charter school that has been failing, you create another opportunity for kids to attend a better school. And over the next 5 years, our plan is to see a 2-to-1 ratio of new, high-quality charter school approvals compared to charter school closures. So if you approve 1,500 new quality charter schools and close 750, over the next 5 years, we will achieve the goal of providing better schools for 1 million students. You will give 1 million students the chance for a better life. And at NACSA, we want to help you change 1 million lives through 3 core strategies in 3 critical areas: people, policy, and practice. First, people. Earlier this year, NACSA launched 2 new programs designed to directly support and strengthen the people who work as charter school authorizers. In our inaugural Leaders program, we brought together leaders of 10 charter school offices stretching from Delaware to Hawaii and from Minnesota to New Orleans. And we gave them homework, asked them to develop capstone projects, and provided them with in-depth training and support, as well as peer collaboration and knowledge sharing on authorizing, leadership, and management skills. We will be bringing together our next cohort of leaders in the spring, and I invite you to apply to be part of it. In our new Fellows program, we recruited, trained, and placed 3 young professionals in a career in charter school authorizing. Imagine that. There are now people considering their career options who are interested in getting into authorizing. So they don't know I'm going to do this, but I want to ask Wendy Nelson, Jose Castro, and Jen Nagurdi to stand. Are you here? I can't see out here. There they are, our 3 new fellows. Thank you. The 3 of them are doing important work right now in New Jersey and Philadelphia, and we thank them for their service. Next year, we will be recruiting and placing another set of fellows. And I invite you to encourage young professionals that you know to consider applying to be a NACSA fellow. Over the next 5 years, we plan to recruit and support at least 75 talented individuals through our Leaders and Fellows programs. That's 75 communities across America where charter schools and authorizing will be stronger. 75 more communities where children will have the opportunity to attend a good school. So that's our people strategy. We're also developing new tools to strengthen authorizer practices. While you're here in Memphis, I invite you to test out a sample of our new Knowledge Core online learning system. The Knowledge Corps platform, when it launches this winter, is our major new strategy to provide support to improve authorizer practices. You'll be able to watch tutorials, download templates, view examples of best practices from your peers around the country. Knowledge Corps is being designed to deliver an unprecedented level of resources to facilitate every aspect of your work and advance your knowledge and expertise in authorizing. We also want to benefit from your knowledge and expertise and what you've learned. In the coming weeks, we will be forming several working groups to address key challenges that face all authorizers, and we're inviting you to be part of those groups. We'll form working groups on accountability measures for alternative schools, on special education, on effective school site visits, and on evaluating charter school proposals that come from management organizations that operate multiple schools. This is your chance to share with others what you've learned in these areas. And while good people and good practices are essential to achieve our goals, so are good policies. In the coming months and years, we will work with you to improve charter school laws. Our policy work will focus on three objectives. First, most state charter school laws need to be more clear about the level of performance that is expected of charter schools. Most state laws now are too vague, leaving you, the authorizer, uncertain of where to set your standards for charter school performance and leaving you open to political and legal challenges. And many states will suggest a new policy that we're calling default closure. Under a default closure law, state statute would indicate a specific school performance level below which a charter school must close unless its authorizer affirmatively votes to keep the school open. So the default position for a school that falls below that threshold is closure, but you retain the discretion to keep the school open based on additional performance data and circumstances. Our second policy objective will address authorizer performance. Just as charter schools are accountable for their performance, we believe authorizers also should be accountable for their performance. And I know this is a controversial issue for some. In fact, we convened a plenary session at our conference in Florida last year on this very topic. And here's what we have heard and seen over the past year. If we authorizers don't take the lead in setting the professional standards for ourselves, someone else will. If we don't do this, it will be done to us. And if you doubt me, ask your colleagues in Minnesota, where there are now half as many authorizers as there were 3 years ago. Ask your colleagues in Michigan, where last session, Michelle Rees' Student First organization appeared out of nowhere at the state capitol and came close to passing authorizer accountability legislation without the support of authorizers or charter schools. Ask your colleagues in Ohio, who are working right now with their State Department of Education to develop an authorizer accountability system required under a new law. Friends, we can no longer ignore this, so NACSA is going to take it on. This will not be and cannot be a one-size-fits-all effort. Every state is different. Every state has a unique history and unique players. Proposed laws to establish authorizer accountability need to recognize those realities. And we want to work with you to determine what's right for your state. We'll have one consistent belief, that the purpose of authorizing is the creation of good schools for kids. Thus, authorizers should be evaluated primarily on the quality of their schools. If you're approving and renewing good schools, you should be recognized for that. But if you're consistently approving and renewing failing schools, you may lose your power to authorize more schools. Our third policy goal will promote quality and growth in the charter school sector through the creation of statewide independent charter school authorizers. In states where there is only one type of authorizer now, which is usually a school district or a state education department, we believe a statewide independent authorizer will develop the scale and expertise necessary to support innovation and expand educational opportunities for kids. We believe school districts should be able to continue to authorize charter schools, but they shouldn't be the only authorizers. Too often, policy debates about authorizing are about power. Who has the power to approve a new school? Who has the power to close a school? And we believe instead that the discussion should be about skill, capacity, and commitment. Who has the skill, capacity, and commitment to authorize high-quality charter schools? And we believe that statewide independent authorizers are well-positioned to have those skills, capacity, and commitment. Because it is your work and the commitment and expertise of authorizing offices across the country that will ultimately help expand really great educational opportunities for kids. And this is what our 1 Million Lives campaign is all about, giving you the support you need to change the lives of 1 million children. At our member meeting over lunch today, we'll have more details to share with you. And in the coming weeks and months, you'll be receiving regular updates from us and invitations to join in the effort. Join a working group that I mentioned earlier. Recruit a fellow. Tap into the resources of our Knowledge Corps. Be part of our community of professionals who understand your work and join together with them to provide a better education to more children. Most importantly, continue to do your work of authorizing charter schools well. Strengthen your practices where needed. Approve only high-quality proposals for new schools. Make sure that students in your schools are being served well and treated fairly. And make sure public dollars are being well spent. And establish clear performance expectations for your schools. And be willing to close those schools that fail to meet them. Through this week's conference and NACSA's new resources and programs, we're here to support you. This is your community, and I urge you to take full advantage of it. Children across the country are counting on you to give them an opportunity to attend a better school. They're counting on you for a chance at a great education. You can make the difference, perhaps the difference, in the lives of 1 million children. Thank you very much.